If you like this edition and you want to know more about the topic and understand it in detail, head on to pallavisehgal.com to see the full video on the topic. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to the Beauty Business Case Study Series. Today we are examining the rise, reality check and the evolution of direct-to-consumer beauty brands and what their journey teaches us about the future of beauty business. The direct-to-consumer revolution wasn't just about selling directly to the customers. It was about fundamentally reimagining how the beauty brands could operate. No retail markups, no buyer gatekeepers, no shelf space limitations, just brands, products, and customers. For a moment, it did seem like the direct-to-customer would reshape the entire beauty industry. Brands like the Glossier, Drunk Elephant, and The Ordinary proved that you could build massive businesses without traditional retail partners. Let's start with the direct-to-consumer promise. Now, the direct-to-consumer model promised to solve beauty's biggest problems through three revolutionary advantages. Promise 1. Economics reinvented. Traditional beauty retail involves multiple markups, brand to distributor, distributor to retailer, retailer to customer. D2C promised to capture all the margins while offering customer better prices. Promise 2. The customer relationship owned. Instead of competing for attention in crowded retail environments, direct-to-consumer brands could build direct relationships with customers, enabling personalization, community building, and lifetime value optimization. Promise 3. Innovation unleashed. Without retail buyers filtering product decisions, direct-to-consumer brands could innovate freely, respond to consumer feedback immediately, and create products that traditional retail won't support. The early success stories. Glossier's community revolution. Now, Emily West built Glossier from her Into the Gloss blog, creating a community before creating products. The brand's success came from understanding customers so deeply that product development felt like conversation rather than guesswork. And this brings us to the reality check. The direct-to-consumer promise faced harsh realities that many brands were not prepared for. Challenge 1. Customer acquisition costs. The digital advertising cost increased dramatically as the platforms matured. What started as cheap Instagram and Facebook ads became expensive customer acquisition battles. Challenge 2. The discovery problem. Now, while retail provided natural product discovery through browsing and through sampling, the D2C required customers to already know what product they specifically wanted. The challenge 3. Credibility gap. Now, beauty purchases often require sensory evaluation. Texture, scent, color matching, etc. Without physical try-before-you-buy experiences, D2C brands faced higher return rates and customer acquisition challenges. There is a new direct-to-consumer playbook that has evolved, which has the first phase of community building, the second phase of D2C launch, the third phase of strategic retail, and the fourth phase of omnichannel excellence. There have been quite a few success examples. The Fenty Beauty's launch strategy. Fenty Beauty launched exclusively with Sephora for discovery and credibility and maintained Fenty.com for direct relationship and expanded product education. We also have Rare Beauty's partnership approach, which was built exclusively through Sephora again, while maintaining strong direct-to-consumer presence and social media community engagement. And now let's talk about the lessons learned. The D2C revolution taught the beauty industry crucial lessons that continue shaping business strategies. What did the D2C get right? First and foremost, the customer-centric product development, using real customer feedback to guide product creation rather than buyer intuition or market research alone. Secondly, the authentic community building, creating genuine engagement around brand values and product education rather than promotional marketing. Thirdly, the transparency and education. Customers responded positively to ingredient transparency, pricing clarity, and educational content that explained product benefits honestly. Fourthly, we have the direct feedback loops. The ability to iterate quickly based on customer response and market feedback proved invaluable for innovation and improvement. The brands that survived and thrived weren't the ones that stuck rigidly to pure D2C models, but those that extracted the best insights from D2C experience and applied them strategically across multiple channels. Today's most successful beauty brands, whether they started D2C or through traditional retail, understand that customer does not care about your business model. The customer cares about great products, authentic relationships, and convenient access to both. We hope that you've enjoyed the preview edition of this topic. If you like this edition and you want to know more about the topic and understand it in detail, head on to pallavisehgal.com to see the full video on the topic.